Welcome to the Healing Social. Womanhood is both a privilege and a paradox. It's the late night conversations with the girls, the thrill of independence, the pride of building something on your own. And it's also the questions we don't ask out loud, like the ones that linger in the family gatherings, in casual conversations, in the spaces between love and longing. What does it fully feel like to be a woman? Because healing is transparent and we don't heal alone, I want you to meet my cousin Ashley. Our roads converged when her aunt married my uncle and our family of love expanded. We both grew up under the kind of love that shields you, protects you, and extends to anyone who graces our family's doorsteps. It's the kind of love that extends when I call about a crazy idea out the blue, and I know she's always down for the cause. When I think of someone navigating the joy of everything she is while still arriving, I think of Ashley. These are her stories.
Hello, my name is Ashley. I am 33 years old. I am a speech language pathologist. I've been in the field for about 4 years. My family is small, but they are loving. So I would say I grew up in a very loving household. We're super close-knit, and so I think that's a valuable part of my upbringing.
And what inspired you to kind of talk about being a woman in today's society?
Well, first off, it's a very heavy topic because everyone has a story in which they think you should fall into or a situation they think you should coincide with. And so for me, a lot of times I have been not the typical, I'm not married. I'm 33, I don't have any children. And so a lot of times when you're at those family functions, everybody wants to know, like, where's the baby? Where's the man? And we see that you have the career, but where's the other part? And so sometimes it makes you feel like you're not doing something right.
Is this an emotional topic?
The kid thing is an emotional area for me, I would say. Because it's like at one point when I was young, you couldn't pour a kid on me at all because I had 2 younger siblings that I had to take care of. So I was running for the door when I turned 18. I was like, oh, I'm out. But now as I'm getting older, my thoughts have changed. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, no, I can actually see motherhood on me, Like, I think I'll be a dope mama, But it seems as if it's not getting closer. It's getting further away. Like the idea is getting further away and not closer, Because as you get older, it's like, all right, that idea is kind of like, I'm not going to say slim to none, but I'm like, I don't want to be an old mama, Anytime I'm at a family gathering, that's the topic of discussion. Are you trying to have children? Are we gonna freeze eggs? Because you're getting up there, and I'm like, damn, I'm just 33. I just turned 33. What are we talking about freezing eggs for? So I feel as if it's a topic that is personal, and I think that people shouldn't ask those kinds of questions to people. Pregnancy and motherhood is different for everybody. So what if there was a situation where I couldn't have children, and so that's why I don't have them? Or what about I don't want children, that's why I don't have them? So I think just to shed light on some things about being a woman is personal and sacred, and we shouldn't have to be bombarded with those questions at the family cookout. So it's one of those things where it's like I have to be content with it, and I have to be content without it.
What does that walkthrough look like?
Well, content means, for me, is that I will have to live my life as if it happened or it didn't happen, right? I can't harbor on it happening. I can't harbor on it not happening, right? So that's how I would have to move forward.
What does being a woman mean to you personally?
So for me, it's about being a mature individual, being able to take care of myself, being able to take care of my family, being a good friend. I mean, in a sense, I know there's male and female, right? And I know sometimes we get so caught up in, oh, that's a man's job or that's a woman's job. And right now, my goal is to be a good person, I got the education, cool, all right. Got the job, cool, but that means really nothing if you're a trashy person, or if you're always negative, or if you're not kind-hearted. So right now, my goal is to just be a good person.
What experiences or relationships shed light on what a woman was?
You know, this is a little different because growing up, I saw my mom. She was a single woman per se. And so for me, I've seen her work, take care of the house, provide for me and my brother and my sister at the time. And then when she was in a relationship at a very young age, unfortunately, that guy didn't pull the weight. So I saw my mom just really working double time to provide for us. And I mean, I love her and I love her work ethic, but at one point in my life, I was like, man, like she's working very hard. If that's what it is to be a woman, like, dang, that's a little tough. Like, I don't know if I want that job. But, and then over the years growing up, I see how she's changed from that provider into more of a nurturer. And so I like the idea of being both, that hardworking woman, and then also knowing when to nurture and when to take care of people.
So what did Ashley want out of womanhood when she was a little girl?
Oh, that is a great question. I don't know. I don't even think I had an idea of what it meant to be a woman when I was younger, because growing up back then it was a different age. It was a different time back then. So, now the girls who are 14, 15, full face makeup. Like back then for me, it wasn't boy, girl. It was just, I was being a child back then. So I don't think I thought about what it takes to be a woman until probably I got to, I'm going to say maybe like 8th grade and even maybe high school years, where now you're trying to look a certain way to attract the attention of other people, right? And so that's when I started saying, oh, like I'm flat chested, like, my booty ain't that big. So I started, becoming more aware of being a woman.
Mm-hmm. You bring up a couple different points that are so very key.
Mm-hmm.
Womanhood equated to being a mother, being pregnant, looking a certain way. Did you see them as challenges? Do you see them as like phases that you was going to have to go through?
I saw it as phases that I had to go through because, like I said, in high school, you see all the girls, you see the it girls, and you're looking like, man, all the boys are talking to her. So maybe I gotta up my game when I come to school tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure I put on a different outfit. I gotta change my look up. And so sometimes you battle between, I've always been low key and chill, right? And so sometimes you battle yourself, the true you versus the you that you want everybody else to see. But deep down inside, the you that you want everybody else to see is really the true you, right? Because anything else that you're doing it for somebody else. It's not really you. So I had to really learn how to differentiate the true me and what I wanted people to see, because that's what I want people to see, the true me. I think I've always been an individual to a certain extent, but I'm gonna say maybe when I hit my 20s, I really started being comfortable with walking in my true self. And we talking, 13 years ago? So yeah, I would say maybe my early 20s is when I was just kind of like, no, me is cool. Like, I like it here. I am vibrant. I am strong. I am successful. I have a house. I have a nice car. Like, I'm getting the things that I actually want, but I'm also, like I talked about, I'm a good person, right? And that's something that I truly value. I think my family instilled that in me, is being a good person. What are your values? What are your morals? And being able to stay true to my values and my morals, even if I'm the only one in the room that agrees with that moral, right? Because what's the point of having standards, morals, and values if you make one person upset and now you have to switch all that up? Like, no, just being true to who you are. And I think that's something that's highlighted with me and my personality, is that I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on what I believe, right? And if it's wrong, and if you have something to say that negates what I've been standing on, I'll listen to it, and if it makes sense, I'll rock with you. But for the most part, I have become very confident in my beliefs, my morals, my values, and I'm learning to stand firm on those things.
As a child, you're conditioned to think moving into womanhood means hitting all these phases. But how and why?
It's generational, and if we think about it, when our grandmothers were younger, that's what they did. They stayed at home, they took care of the kids. Our grandfathers went to work and they provided, right? So then at the time of our mother's age, they did the same thing. You can only do what you've been taught, right? And I remember having a conversation with my aunt one day, and I asked her, I said, you know what? I don't think I want to be married, or I don't think I want a family. And she said, why? I said, because I want to be a successful woman. Like, I don't think you can have both or all three. Like, I don't think I can have a family and a successful career. And she was like, no, you can. It's balanced. You can have both. And I was like, no, I ain't with all that. But she's shown me that you can have a successful career and a successful family. So I think it's just all about breaking those molds and thinking outside of the box, you know. And our parents can only teach us what they know. And as we're all experiencing life, we're learning new things. And now we're learning, I don't have to do what my grandma did. I don't have to do what my mom did. I can do what makes sense for me.
What are the challenges that you experienced as a young, successful, single Black woman?
Finding someone that's at my level, for one, and then sometimes you feel like, man, I don't have a kid right now. What does that say about me? You know, or I'm not dating or even like on my way to marriage. Like, what does that say about me? And especially, like I said, when you get the questions of, oh, you know, Thanksgiving dinner is coming. You can bring him if you want to. And I'm like, there's no him. Like the subliminals, you know? And it's like, just invite me over to Thanksgiving dinner. If you want to see me, just do that, you know? So it's always in the back of my head, always.
What do you think, though, is this day and age's cultural, societal wants out of a woman?
You know what?
Just say.
I think a lot of times society wants women to just be quiet. And I think they have a hard time accepting a woman with something to say, especially if it goes against the grain. And that's something that I have noticed. That's what I think. Yeah.
What do you think men want from women?
The same thing. I think they want you to do as they say, conform to whatever opinions or beliefs that they have. And all the time, that's not wrong, right? Because sometimes if you don't know something and you have a significant other that's willing to teach you, that's fine. I can conform to your beliefs all day long, but I also have my own, right? So it's not just conforming to yours. I need you to conform to, like, it's give and take, you know? And so sometimes that's one thing that I struggle with in relationships is that because guys don't know how to fit into my life, because I have a good job already, you know? I have a great family. They don't know where to fit themselves. And so if I'm not following everything that they say, then it's a problem. So that's something that I've run into.
So if you were talking to the younger you who thought all these things about womanhood and, you know, was hopeful and all that, to who you are now, what would you tell her about what womanhood looks like?
I will say that it's a badge of honor to be a woman. The things that we can do, like with our bodies, even like bearing a child, it's an honor to be a woman. But at the same time, you can still do what you want to do. Like your life is not molded to this concept of being a woman. Because although, like I said, carrying a child is a miraculous deed, right? But if that's not what you want, you don't have to do it. Being married is a wonderful thing, but if that's not what you want, you don't have to do it. Being a stay-at-home mom is an amazing thing, right? But if that's not what you want, you don't have to do it, right? You have a say-so of your life. Just because you're a woman does not mean you have to just comply to whatever anybody says. That's not it. But I think I look at things more of a humanistic point. You know what I'm saying? We're humans, right? And there's certain things that men want, certain things that women want, but I have a different framework of looking at that. You know, we've had discussions about that. And it's just a humanistic way of looking at things. Like, live your life, do the things that make you happy, right? Learn yourself. And when you learn who you really are, it's hard for you to deviate, you know, off of your journey. And it's hard for people to knock you off of your journey because you know. So just be open to those changes. Sometimes we're so reluctant to change that we just don't know how to enjoy the moment because of the reluctantness.
What makes Ashley happy right now as a woman?
What makes me happy? Being able to come home to my home. I designed it. It's my space. I'm most comfortable. I'm most vulnerable. But just being able to come home to a space where I feel safe. That's what does it for me.
Ashley's story teaches us that two things can be true at once, and multiple paths exist. That womanhood, in all its glory and ambiguity, is paved with ambition, self-discovery, and personal fulfillment, while simultaneously holding space for evolution and the joy of the unknown. I thank her for her time. We are rooting for you, sis.